So I'll keep this quick because I'd already done a review last week, but I think I gave it a 7. Um, I wanted to come back and just kind of talk more about like the actual story elements that I liked and disliked. You know, dig a little bit more into the actual plot itself. So to be completely fair, I haven't really looked at other people's interviews of it. Still just ruminating about my own thoughts. And one of them is just the first half of the movie felt a little bit choppy. Um, it felt like it was rushing around a lot from a lot of perspectives, and I found it weird that they never, referenced how much time had actually passed because it had been a bit of time. I mean, I can't remember how long exactly. Um, as just before even getting into it, the execution of the story is done very well. I'd seen the play and I'd seen the musical, and both movies, it's pretty accurate to the way that the movie portrays the story. Besides, besides the part that the movie almost opens with, with Glinda, her like memories as a young kid. Um, I thought that was cool. I actually didn't like it at first because I just thought it was a little bit, on the nose. I mean, we know that Glinda, she has this chip on her shoulder from being a kid because she's not magically gifted, and that sort of tension she has with Alphaba, but then also kind of within herself. You know what I mean? And that whole sequence, at least to my knowledge, wasn't in the play. I liked it more actually. I had re-watched with my girlfriend part one, and the scene where Alphaba is actually falling and she sees her younger self, and there was so much of Alphaba's childhood in part one, it almost made more sense to me then. Part two's more of like the Glinda side of Wicked, which is kind of cool. So I actually do like that sequence more now. I do just think it was hard in the first half of the movie, Glinda to have such a spotlight. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it felt off. I guess you just got to get used to Glinda like carrying the movie at that point in time. Um, I didn't like either of the original songs. Maybe they'd grow on me. I'm sure. You know, the more popular they become, the more I might hear them out in public. Um, and my opinion of them might change, but I wasn't a super fan of the actual musical parts. I wish they talked more about Nessa and how she became governor of Munchkinland. I think that whole part was a little confusing, so they don't explain that. How much power she ended up really having after their father passed away. Um, I did really like getting to see. I'm blanking on her name. Dorothy. I don't know what happened there. Dorothy and all the characters of Wizard of Oz. That is probably the coolest part of For Good, is it really gets to close out and close the loop on the story elements between why is the Tin Man, and Scarecrow and the Lion, and getting to see Dorothy and the shoes, right, being Nessa. All of that gets answered. I think it's probably one of the coolest parts of the story as a whole because, I mean, Wizard of Oz is, I mean, had to admit one of the coolest stories, out there. And for Wicked to kind of come in and, you know, expand upon that world and that story is pretty cool. And it's done in a good way. Like, that was my other issue, I guess, was since, like, maybe people would correct me, but since they were all going to go attack the witch, when Dorothy goes to get her, for the wizard, it's so nitpicky. But like when Bach or the Tin Man, almost lets it slip that it's Alphaba, and the witch. I guess why didn't they show Fiero, like the Scarecrow? Um, and then why didn't Fiero speak up since he's in love with Alphaba? Maybe talk him out of doing it. I don't know where that rationale came from, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing something I can't remember. But that kind of bugged me. Um, I really liked Bach's transformation into Tin Man. Super cool. Tin Man looked amazing. The other thing that bugged me about Tin Man and Scarecrow was the fact that they hid Scarecrow and Fiero for so long, and they really hyped up Fiero in his transformation to Scarecrow till the end, and you finally see his face. Wasn't blown away. I didn't think it was that great. Tin Man looked way better. Tin Man looked way crazier. Bakla had a way more impressive transformation, in my opinion. Again, all the performances are good. I mean, Jeff Goldblum does a great job. The musical numbers, I just think part one had all the bangers. You know, part one had all the bangers. For Good is really good, and then No Good Deed. Those are two of probably the best moments, musically wise. While those two songs were really good, I do think No Good Deed felt like it was trying to be like Defying Gravity. There, that last scene where she's kind of floating and all the flying monkeys are around her. I do know they did some reshoots, so I wonder what maybe they'd gone and changed. Maybe it was just some simple, special effects mistakes that they had to reshoot. Maybe they did change some scenes. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Idea what those research or reshoots might have been. I didn't love the scene with Fiero and Alphaba for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe because I'm a guy, and I just didn't really. The theater loved it. Theater was going crazy, clapping a ton. I just didn't feel like I knew obviously Fiero super in Alphaba, but I didn't feel the Glinda, betrayal. I guess like when leaving her on the wedding. Like I just wish there was maybe more screen time and I don't know, time to flesh out Glinda and Fiero's relationship a little bit more because I don't know, it just didn't really feel like super lovable. It was just so obvious that like Fiero was gonna be with Alphaba, and I don't know how Glinda couldn't have seen that. It ended good. I mean, good. I think Glinda, leaving Oz and between or whatever that was, a good ending, and then just a good story of friendship between Glinda and Alphaba. I think ended the movie really well. The final number of For Good, and then the way it looped to part one, good ending. Overall, I just think it was all right. I don't know. Part one, just I think that was the rocket ship. That was the story. And maybe my thoughts will change when I see it again. But yeah, part one was better. I think in every way. Felt like there were some plot holes between. Just felt like the way the animals weren't as big of a deal. They were, and she freed them. But even when she freed them from the cage, like I know there was like diplomatic change that needed to happen, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about it too much, but it's good. I think I stand on my 7 so far. Light 7. Give it a light 7. But yeah, that's For Good. That's the last review I'll probably do of this. Only did the spoiler free just because I did get an early viewing of it, so doubt do many of these 2-part reviews. But yeah, that's Wicked For Good. Alright, see ya.